What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Reality TV RHAPpy Hour. My name is Jordan Parhar, and for the final time this season, I'm here with you to discuss the finale of Big Brother Over the Top with some good pals of mine. First is a man whose internet connection is working tonight, and he's not going to have any issues that make him sound like Taran. It's Alex Kidwell, ladies and gentlemen. Alex, how are you?
Jinxing me, Jordan. I don't like this. It's one thing when I say it pre-show. It's another when you announce it to the world on the podcast. I don't know why you would do that, but here we are. Finale night. What just happened, Jordan? It's chaos, madness in these BB streets. We're losing our minds.
Oh my goodness! This is such a crazy night. Unbelievable. I can't wait to get into it with this man in particular. I know he's also very happy that we never have to hear from Chrissy ever again. It's Brent Wolgamott, ladies and gentlemen. Brent, how are you?
Hey Jordan, how you doing, everybody? Wearing my sequence tonight. I got one word for y'all. Tequila! Yeah, girl, how you doing out there? Hold on, wait, hold on. Let me pour myself a drink here. Just to toast in this win. This is great. Nice to see everybody. How y'all doing?
Oh my goodness, Brent, welcome on. Such a difference in attire from the Big Brother Canada 4 finale. My goodness. Should be a fun night. And last but not least is a man whose polling was so on point all season. And I don't know, was it on point tonight? I definitely wasn't seeing this coming. Taran Armstrong. But yeah, so I mentioned his name. Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
Yes, the polling was on point. I, of course, was not. People have been calling me the Taran Silver of Big Brother, and I lived up to that name by predicting incorrectly tonight, despite the poll telling me otherwise. So, yeah, wrong again. But my poll was right, so there's something.
Wow, there we go. Oh my goodness, guys. We are live here on robhaswebsite.com talking about the finale of Big Brother Over the Top. We've got so much to get into. You can send us your questions by tweeting me. I am at Jordan Parhar on Twitter. Use hashtag RHAPpy Hour, and we will get into those later on the show. We got the chat room going. The chat room we've been having some issues on robhaswebsite.com. If you refresh your page, if you don't see it, refresh your page on the website. There should be a little hyperlink that will that you can click on that will take you to the chat room. There's a bunch of people over there chatting right now. And now is if you've not been to the chat room before, now is the time to check it out, because there's tons of stuff to talk about here. Tons of people are weighing in on what they think about this whole thing. But guys, let's not bury the lead here. Jason Roy is not the winner of Big Brother Over the Top. Oh my goodness, I am floored. I cannot believe it. I thought there was maybe a chance at the beginning of this season that Jason wouldn't win. I felt the rest of the way it seemed like he had it in the bag. There was no issues. I had people messaging me saying, "Oh, are you Jason's going to win this, right?" And I said, "Oh, 100%. I put my life on it. There's no way he loses this." And somehow, some way, Jason is not the winner. Morgan is the winner of Big Brother Over the Top. Morgan Willett. Alex Kidwell, how did this happen?
It's a very good question, Jordan. I mean, we found out that it was less than 20,000 votes, it seems, separating first and second. And between the 2 days of voting, where you could vote 20 times each, there were 40 votes available per person. So not necessarily 20,000 people, 20,000 votes, which could be, as few as 500 people. So very, very close margin of error. And yeah, I mean, because it was so close, you have to start looking at, what external factors there could have been. Were people who, stopped voting earlier in the season, who were very pro Alex and that side of the house, did they come back to support them at the end? Or, was it maybe the fact that past Big Brother players had come out to support Jason? Did that incentivize people to actually do the opposite? I have no idea. I mean, I think there's a lot to chew on here and to really wonder about, because it was so close. And I think we all, I don't know. I think maybe Brent was holding out some hope, but I certainly was resigned to the idea. I thought for sure Jason was winning this. I'm shocked right now.
Yeah, Brent, going into it, did you think that Jason was going to win this thing, or are you not surprised that Morgan ended up winning here?
I am surprised that Morgan won. I did think there was a chance. I remember being on a private call with you all last night asking, so do any of you all think that there's a chance that Morgan could possibly win? And silence from the gallery. So I definitely thought that there was a chance that Morgan could take it, mainly because she's an appealing underdog. And I know, look, I have seen the Twitters. I know the Twitters. I'm like talking like my dad. I have seen the tweets, and I know people have said, like, how can you vote for, the blonde cheerleader over the queer basement dwelling kid who, watches Big Brother and lives for it? And I'm like, to those people, all I can say is, like, bitch, I've put in my dues, okay? I can decide who I want to vote for, and I liked Morgan. I really did. I mean, so say what you want about Jason, but he made a lot of mistakes. He did. His social game was not, as they say, on point with America as the viewers, and with some people in the house, with making deals that didn't need to be made that I felt were just cruel. Morgan, say what you want about her, but she was always well liked by the people in the house. And I don't think she made people on the internet hate her. If there's someone you can hate, then okay, I want to vote for the other person because I hate that other person so much. But no one really dislikes Morgan. I don't know anybody that dislikes Morgan, even people that are really, really pro-Jason, the pro-Jason nation. So, I mean, I have to say that it reflected the season all along. All of the votes all season have been going back and forth, and I feel like this is just a reflection of that this was so close. But congratulations to Morgan. A little part of me is sad that Jason lost, I'll be honest with you guys, but the bigger part of me is not so sad because I didn't really care for him this season, and I'll put that on the table.
And I'd like to let Taran get into, the specifics of his poll numbers. They are, after all, his polls and not mine.
Yes.
But
yes,
I do want to state that I think there is something to the fact that if you were watching, the stuff that, Taran was putting up on Twitter, the poll last week showed Jason, the hypothetical, when it was like Jason versus Morgan or Jason versus Justin. Jason over Morgan was a substantially bigger gap than obviously it was a couple days ago when Taran polled, and then it is now. So he did something in the last few days, I think.
Yeah, Taran. So let's talk about this a little bit here. So in terms of the exact numbers, and Alex mentioned this, so people could put down 20 votes on whoever they wanted, and they could do that twice. Now, based on what you had with your polling, do you think that Chrissy do you think the difference in this for Jason was that Chrissy took some of those votes from him and ultimately caused him to lose?
Well, there are a couple things here. So what Alex was pointing out, I did 2 polls last week, one with Justin in the final 3, one with Morgan in the final 3. With Morgan in the final 3, this is a week ago, on November 23rd, Jason was winning with 57% of the vote to Morgan's 41%. A significant margin, only about a quarter of the amount of votes that eventually went into the final poll. But the numbers on the final poll remained pretty consistent throughout the entire thing. By the time it had about 2,500 votes, which this poll does have, the results were about the same. So that suggests that he did lose a significant amount of support over the course of this last week. And then, as you were mentioning, Jordan, when we look at, if Julie said it came down to 20,000 votes, which if you vote 40 times comes down to 500 people, just 500 people, which is insane to me. If you look at my final poll alone, Chrissy got 3% of about 10,200 votes, which is over 300 people. And that's just with my little 10,000 vote poll. That's not all of the audience. So it's very clear that anybody who was a Jason fan that voted Chrissy was somebody that gave up their vote to Chrissy. And that was ultimately one of the things that swung it in Morgan's favor. Not that, I don't think there's anything wrong with anybody who wanted to vote Chrissy because they thought that she was the best. But it is something that is interesting to look at when you look at the final 3 format, because this was not what we thought it was going to be going in. If this is Jason versus Morgan and Chrissy is not there is no final 3, we could be looking at a different outcome.
And I'll go ahead and, raise my hand here and say that I voted for Chrissy on Taran's poll just so I could see the results without having to contribute to the outcome. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that fact, but the fact remains that couldn't have been everyone. That couldn't have been all 3% of however many thousand that were just saying like, oh, I just don't want to vote, but I want to see what this looks like. So let me throw a vote to Chrissy. So it had to be at least 500, I guess, which makes Chrissy Big Brother Gary Johnson. And that's what I will henceforth refer to as for the rest of time.
Are we really going to say, though, that Chrissy cost Jason the win here? I mean, I feel like there were external factors beyond Chrissy that...
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
Maybe they don't matter if it's not.
Well, it's possible, but everybody knew this was an A or B choice. I feel like, did anybody really go on in line and vote for Chrissy?
Did anybody vote for Ralph Nader, Brent? Did anyone vote for Jill Stein?
So that is a fair point from Brent, because I think that there probably were more people that would go out there and do what Alex did on Taran's poll and vote, oh, I just want to see what this will happen if I click Chrissy, rather than actually going out there and voting Taran.
Oh, of course. But when you look at, like, I have a small sample size versus the overall sample size of the CBS votes. Like, if I have 300 people, even if half of them are just doing it to see the results, that's more than enough to tell me that's a wider margin than the votes between Jason and Morgan. And what Brent is saying is also absolutely right. When the votes are this close, there is no, I mean, you can point to any one of any number of things and say, this was the difference. This is the thing that made the difference, because any small, tiny little factor could have been the difference with just 500 people in between. That, like, we can point to anything and say, this is what made the difference.
I feel like, though, we're kind of burying the lead by talking about numbers. I mean, like I feel like what we really need to talk about is the things that caused Jason. So, I mean, Jason just lost Big Brother over the top. I am stunned about that fact. And I feel like two things are on the table: his behavior in the house and the behavior of some people on social media, which definitely got my butt off the couch to vote for Morgan. And I'll put it out there. I voted for Morgan. I voted for Morgan 40 flipping times because I was pissed. I didn't like being told who to vote for by Big Brother players who didn't watch the damn season. I saw Vanessa on Twitter saying that Jason should win Big Brother. She didn't know a damn thing about it. And by the way, she's also the person who voted for Liz to win, so I really don't care what she has to say. So yeah, I got my butt off the couch to go vote for Morgan, and I'm sure that there were a few other people who felt the same way. I didn't like being told that Jason has to win Big Brother over the top because he's a Big Brother historian, and, you know, what do we know about Morgan? I mean, I just didn't like that sort of A-B choice where you're forced to choose. I'm like, I want to choose the other choice, and that doesn't make me a bad person.
That's so interesting, right? Because, like, you would just assume the endorsements are a good thing, but yeah, it's very positive. Except for, you know, we talked about the Adam Pock endorsement being a bad thing. Although Adam finally switches to Jason. Isn't that what he did?
Did he switch? Did he switch to Jason? I didn't see that. He tweeted saying that he made the difference, but I thought he was serious. But
maybe he did. I don't even remember anymore. I stopped.
No.
Maybe he meant to, like.
I think he was supporting a Morgan victory here, unless he switched at the last minute.
Okay. I stopped paying attention once I saw that Danielle Reyes was pro Jason and Jason Guy was pro Morgan. My head exploded and I stopped remembering who else was on what side. Jason Guy and Danielle Reyes were on opposite sides for this thing, Jordan. This is a big deal.
Jason Guy watches BBOTT. What?
Really?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
He's been a plastic supporter for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea.
And then, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, Brent brings up a good point, which is like, you know, I think endorsements don't necessarily in this kind of a game work the way you want them to. I get why Vanessa would want Jason to win because Morgan isn't going to ever use any of that money to stake her in poker tournaments, but Jason might. So yeah, of course she'd rather see her buddy win. But did it really do those things really actively help you, or like could they hurt you? I mean, this margin is so close, and votes had been going Jason's way that I just wonder. I mean, you know, I thought, you know, from reading stuff and seeing stuff, I feel like a lot of people who were, you know, pro Alex and pro Shelby and pro Scott, like I was thinking they wouldn't show up to this vote. And clearly they did.
Yeah, something that I tweeted, the reason why I thought Jason probably had the edge in this vote was because of these endorsements, was because I was expecting that there was going to be a much larger turnout for this final vote than there was for previous votes. And any new voters were much more likely to be pro Jason than pro Morgan, with or without the endorsements. They know Jason if they haven't been watching the season. They don't know Morgan. And with people telling them like, oh, yeah, vote for Jason. He played the best game. I figured anybody who's new to this party who just wants to like hop on board, they're probably going to vote for Jason. So what my thought was, if there's any significant amount of new voters, they're going to go to Jason, and that's going to be enough to tip the scales. So I don't know if there wasn't many new voters that voted in this thing, or if it was that people didn't care about knowing who Jason was or about the endorsements. Maybe even new voters thought, here's a choice between a veteran and a new person. When this season started, I was like, oh, Jason's probably going to win, and now here it is, 3 months later, and he's about to win. So 2 months later, sorry. So I'm just going to vote against him. Like, it could have been any number of things.
And it definitely did seem like he had the bulk of the endorsements. But yeah, I mean, Morgan did have a few. We mentioned Adam, mentioned Jason Guy. I think I saw our family sitting with the Nolan sisters. So,
Yeah, that I was
sister
like,
power.
Well, it was very confusing because yes, on the finale they panned to each person's family, and it said Morgan's family, and there was the little like key came up on the screen, and you could see her mom and her dad, and then Liz Nolan. I was like, wait, what is Morgan a Nolan twin now? But my mind is just blown by this. It's just so crazy. Brent, I've seen some people online say that there was hacking involved, or there was potential voter fraud, or all this kind of stuff, or that CBS rigged this thing. What do you have to say about all that?
I think that those people are probably just like crying in their tea right now. I mean, these are the same people who were getting on me for when I was complaining about the vote earlier, and when, Jason was getting the care packages and their side was winning things and Morgan was being put up by America. I mean, it seems like when you lose the vote, you're complaining about America's involvement, and you win it, you're happy with it. And right now I'm happy with it. So I could care less what those people have to say. I do feel like that you can't support a show and the results all season, and then at the end, because the result isn't what you like, to then discredit the entire thing. I mean, I think that calls your coverage of the show into question.
All right.
I'm looking to see if BB recount is trending yet.
I'm seeing on Twitter, this is probably from a backyard interview, which is, I believe, happening right now. I see Justin is saying, I feel like a lot of my fans voted for Morgan because they saw I did so wrong toward the end. So we've got Justin saying that he feels like his fans all shifted to Morgan. Obviously, Justin doesn't exactly, he's not gonna have his finger in the pulse, but I certainly think that was also a factor.
But weren't
JP, only if it's a small part. What?
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, but did Justin have any fans that were just Justin fans? Because I felt like a lot of Justin's fans were just Jason fans from the beginning, who were like, oh yeah, I'm a Justin fan now because I like Jason and Justin. But then as soon as that broke off, I feel like at the core.
I mean, when we're talking about these numbers being so small, I feel like
that 500.
Yeah, there's going to be like 1 or 2% of people who were very pro Justin, and they really wanted this guy to win. He was a breath of fresh air. I mean, we had people in the So You Think You Can podcast contest, like Cam, who was like, I've waited for a guy like this all season long on my team, who said that he's tired of the stereotypical African American guy that Big Brother has been casting, the church going guy. He wanted someone who was a little bit more who reflected him, and I feel like a lot of people identify with Justin. I identify with Justin because I thought he was just he spoke my language in terms of how he viewed elements of the world, and while I was fans of other people in the house, I definitely enjoyed him.
Alex, what are we gonna, now that this is happening? I mean, we talked about these hypotheticals for the last week or so because we didn't really have anything to talk about on the podcast. But now that it's happened, now that Morgan has won Big Brother Over the Top and Jason has lost, how do you think that's going to affect BBOTT 2, if that's a thing?
Boy, I don't know. I think the people who are saying, like, I think if anything, maybe let CBS think they can do the thing again where they bring back a veteran and it's not going to matter. And I don't think people are going to love that, but I think that this result reinforces the idea that the veteran advantage isn't overpowering. So that's not something they're going to shy away from now necessarily. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this is a really surprising, and I definitely think this surprised CBS because I felt like the last few days in the, the recaps and stuff, they were really kind of beginning to show us a Jason narrative that I was like, all right, they're aware of who's going to win this vote.
I agree.
And I think Julie and everyone there was thrown for a total curveball with this thing.
Yeah, I mean, did you not hear JP, like the questions that Julie was asking? Like when she went to Morgan and basically tried to equate Jason's massive fan following with the fact that she had her sister in the house, a sister, by the way, that didn't even want her to use the veto on herself because she felt that might have been the better game move. I mean, I was just like, I felt like she was painting the tale already for why Morgan lost. I really did. And the way she questioned Chrissy about, like, you knew that Jason had this massive fan following and yet you still went to the end with him. Why would you do that? I mean, she was trying to make, I mean, I love Julie's interview with her because it made her seem like a total idiot, and it showed Chrissy to be the person that she is, which really wasn't thinking about the money. She was just more interested in making friends. I will say this really quickly to all those people who are happy that Jason lost. I think the reason, like myself, that we're happy that Jason lost is because I don't really want to see Neely and Shane and Danielle all over Twitter saying, you know, told you so, told you so. Like, I've been
we won. We won.
Exactly. It's not, Big Brother is not a team sport. You didn't win anything. I almost swore and I caught myself. Like, it's good that I don't have to listen to those people. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in the chat room who agree with me on that.
And I think that's another factor that we haven't talked about enough is that, you know, I hate to say it, but I mean, we had Scott and Alex on the podcast and they were, for the most part, pretty gracious and, you know, honest and full disclosure. I mean, the things they were saying, even if you didn't necessarily like them or agree with them, you didn't feel like they were coming from a place of anger or, you know, just rage or bitterness. And I mean, that's all I've seen on Twitter from a couple of these house guests on the other side. And I do wonder if that hurt Jason because they openly were associated with Jason, not just with their time in the house, but with all their like campaigning for him. I mean, it's like all they've tweeted, some of these people have tweeted for the last 2 or 3 weeks is like shade at people who don't care about them anymore and go Jason. And you begin to associate those things, I think, to some degree. And there was probably some fans out there who were turned off by that. And that's a shame for Jason because he doesn't have any control over that.
Taran, do you think if Jason would have been on the other side of the house, if he would have worked with the Plastics instead of the LNJ, do you think that would have helped him ultimately win this game?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they would have been willing to work with him. I don't think that he could have got in with them, to be honest. I think that they were willing to work with him, like Alex was saying, until America's Influence ended. But they would have wanted to cut him pretty quickly. They wouldn't have been Chrissy, you know, being like, oh, yes, please win for me, Jason. So I feel like this was probably his best route. I don't think that he did as well as he could have getting there. I think he made a lot of fumbles, a lot of unnecessary moves, which ultimately could have cost him the game. But let's not forget, he did come very close to winning too. So it's not as though he did such a terrible job that he came nowhere close. He's certainly no Chrissy.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. I mean, he's got how many Twitter followers? 70,000, I don't know. And he was on the proper BB season, and he's coming into a house onto a show that's on the internet. I mean, he should win this vote hands down. The fact that he didn't speaks to me that maybe he did something that people didn't like. I mean, I think 2 things come to mind. Number one, I still go back to that deal that he made, the fake Final 5 deal. I thought it was so cruel. I didn't like how he acted that week. That's where I permanently got off the Jason train, was not rooting for him anymore. And all the stuff that, I mean, I really haven't, with all respect, you know, I haven't been here the past week, and I haven't heard you guys talk about this enough, and I feel like it needs to be talked about more. The stuff that Jason says about women and how he talks about them. Look, I know Jason is a part of the progressive community. I get that, okay? But just because you have the gay card doesn't give you carte blanche to talk however you want about women. I think there's a lot of women who've written to me specifically on Twitter messages that I forwarded on to Rob Cesternino, who told me that they're glad that I've talked about the stuff that Jason has said on Twitter, on the show, because it just, he gets a pass for it, and he shouldn't. You don't get to call somebody the C word over and over again and just say, oh, but I didn't mean that. You know, I mean, there's an element to that really, I think, strikes a chord in some voters, and it turned them from being at least ambivalent to a Jason win to being anti-Jason voters and turned them into Morgan voters. And given that there's only 20,000 votes separating the two of them, I feel like that was enough.
And now, Alex, looking back, or when we're down the road, when we look back on this season, and we look back and we see, okay, Morgan won this game, and Jason's back in the community. He's probably going to be tweeting and doing his BB historian stuff, and Morgan's probably going to do Morgan things and not really be involved in the community at all. Do you think that people are going to regret that they voted for Morgan instead of Jason, or no?
I don't know. I'm not in their heads. Who am
You
I
don't
to,
think
who am
so?
I to
But
speak to that?
you think it's for me? I mean, I almost feel like, okay, yes, Jason said some things that were, as Brent mentioned, like some very unacceptable things.
Horrible things. He said horrible, unacceptable things that are
unacceptable
classless.
Yes. However, people say horrible things and do stupid things all the time. Jason if Jason would have won this game, it would have changed his life. This is his life. Morgan doesn't give a crap about this. She's not going to care about the title of Big Brother Over the Top winner. I mean, okay, right now, is she happy? Yes. But is it really going to make that much of a difference in her life? I don't know if it is, Brent.
I mean, I don't really care. I mean, like, first of all, if Big Brother is your life, I feel like you need to get a new life, Jason. I mean, I'm sorry. I like Big Brother. I watch it all the time, but it's not my life. And I mean, I have other things in my life that have changed my fate. So, you can't wait for Big Brother to change your fate. You have to change it yourself. I feel like he had it within himself to win this season. I feel like when he looks back on this season and sees some of the mistakes he made, he's going to realize that it was enough to cost him the win. Whether or not he wants to acknowledge that maybe is another story. I feel like Jason probably is, once he stops hurting a week from now and looks back at some of the things he said and says, yeah, that probably, given that people are watching me on the internet, they don't know me, calling Shelby the C word, talking about the size of her vagina, probably not the best look. I mean, especially after Hillary Clinton just lost the election, I feel like there were a lot of women voters, a lot of men voters too, who were just offended at the fact that you can't talk about women like that. I'm kind of sick of it. And I feel like that he probably paid the price for it.
Yeah. It's something that I think needs to be addressed is that, this is still a game. It's a different game than Big Brother, but it's still a game, and it's not about who deserves it most. It's not about who needs it most. And if anything, it's more about that than the other version of Big Brother, because we are in charge. But ultimately, it comes down to what the audience decided to reward. And if the audience doesn't decide to reward somebody who lives for this, who needs it, who has been wanting this forever, and instead rewards somebody who is much more new to the game and somebody who doesn't have like a history with Big Brother, who doesn't need the money as much, I think that speaks to how they played the game and were able to capture their audience or lose their audience, because it's not about us, it's about them and how we respond to them.
Paul's like, I should have played OTT, homie. Damn.
Fool played the wrong game, Alex.
Fool played the wrong game.
Let's talk about just the finale in general. We've been so caught up in just in the results of this, the ultimate destination. But I quickly want to talk about the journey a little bit in terms of the finale episode. Personally, I thought it was awesome. I thought they did a really good job. I wasn't really expecting them to pull out all the stops here. We had the live audience. We had Julie there. Finally,
swearing, Julie Chen swearing.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness,
Brent. Yes. Yeah. That was
why are people so excited about this? Like, I get why Chen's excited. She never gets to say this stuff on CBS, but I don't get why anyone else cares. Like,
it's because Julie is so like Julie is so like, but first, like, so prim and proper, and would never say anything like that. It's like the Queen swearing, Alex. Like that,
yep.
You never hear that. You never hear it, Taran.
Well, if Julie is the Queen, God help us all.
I feel like we were all sixth graders in a classroom, and the teacher swore, and we were like, "Ooh!"
Well, I guess, Taran, I guess that's what separates Brent and I from you and Alex. Okay,
yeah.
I thought it was great. I thought that was amazing.
Cynical.
Alex,
we don't appreciate the subtle joys of life.
No, definitely not. It's just simple. It's the little things. It's the little things, guys. Alex, what was one thing that you really liked about this finale?
I'll tell you one thing that I liked from a standpoint of I was able to joke about it on Twitter, but like if I was involved in the situation, I would definitely not like it. And that is that Alex and Morgan's boyfriends who had tickets were turned away at the door. Did you know about this, Jordan?
No, what happened?
They both had tickets and they were on some like do not allow in list or something like that. Like Alex's boyfriend has been tweeting up a storm about this, and I've been following it like this is like the secondary story that I've been following with great anticipation, because I'm fascinated by the idea that CBS kicked out family from the finale.
Why?
Especially the boyfriend of the winner's sister, as it turns out.
Okay, so hold on. So he wasn't allowed in. Was Danielle's uncle allowed in?
That was my first thought, Jordan. Who's behind this? Who has a motive? Danielle's uncle.
Turns out he had more power than we thought.
Man, yeah.
Well, yeah, we got the last laugh though, so yeah.
No, but that is actually crazy because, like, yeah, Big Brother, like for a regular Big Brother season, your family is given, they're allocated a certain number of tickets. So I don't understand why they would be given those tickets and then they say, okay, yeah, this is my family, this is my boyfriend or whatever, and they wouldn't let them in. So that's
we got room for the Nolan twins whenever they want to show up. They didn't bother coming for Halloween. We're like, oh, okay, you're welcome back anytime. Just come on by. The door is always open. But if you're dating a house guest, they're like, sorry, there's no room at the inn.
Yeah, that's insane, dude. Brent, anything stand out for you other than Julie Chen cursing?
We can talk about the airing of the final 3 speeches. I mean, I didn't really get to give my take on that since I haven't been on the show.
Sure.
I thought that, real tea, I thought Jason's was probably the best. I like how he went after the 2 girls, and I felt like he did it in a respectful way. If that Jason had been playing all season, I feel like he's clearly the winner of this season. I feel like, I don't want to repeat myself. I feel like he's going to understand why he lost when he gets out of the house. It's probably going to hurt and it's probably going to suck, but there's a reason why he lost. And combine that with the fact that with Morgan in the finale rather than Justin, it's funny because Jason and Christy were helping Morgan. Like, they wanted Morgan to win. They didn't want Justin to win. They really feared Justin. I feel like Jason probably beats Justin because the plastic fans don't really care that much about Justin. And with Morgan in the finale, it at least put Jason's fate in question because there were a lot of people who just wanted to make sure that side of the house lost based on some of the things that they had said. And I know I felt that way. So there you go.
Taran, anything that stood out for you watching the finale as a whole?
I like this finale. And I have not been a fan of the season as a whole, but this finale was very close to like everything that I feel like a lot of us have been asking for, right? Like, there was no like serious filler. Like, any filler there was like fun DR segments where we're watching the house guests laugh along with the finalists. It's basically the sort of thing where it's basically the reunion we've always wanted. We got to talk to different people. We got to hear from Alex, who got to explain how America's involvement affected the game, which I thought was awesome. We got to hear from pretty much everyone. We got to hear updates from Danielle and Shane. Like, that was all great. The DR montage, I thought the speeches were kind of boring because we had already seen those, but that's fine because it also wasn't 2 hours. It was an hour long. There were no like gaps. Like, when they revealed the final, the Chrissy that was out third, I was like, okay, now it's going to be like another half hour
right?
until we find the winner. But no, they just went right back into it. Like, I was shocked that we were finding out so early, and I was really pleasantly surprised. And I feel like, I mean, there's been talk about taking some elements of Big Brother OTT and bringing it to the summer season, and I'm really against that. But if you're going to take anything, take this finale format because it's way better than the summer version.
Can I just tell you guys really quickly that this is just a funny story. Like, I was in the RHAP chat room on CBS.com, and my partner calls me because he's not here tonight. So, like, I pause because I don't want to miss anything in the finale. So I pause it, and I answer the phone. I talk to Jay for like maybe 2 minutes, right? And then I come back, and because there was like a 2-minute gap, I started seeing the chat room just totally blow up on the right side with like, oh my God, Queen, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And it dawns on me what has happened. I'm like, oh my God, Morgan just like, really? What? Like, I was like, Trump is president again. Like, what? How did that happen? Seriously, it was amazing. It was I'm getting to know that experience, you guys. That's really kind of
I tweeted something earlier about like I'm 29 and I feel like over the course of the last couple of months, like now I have the heart of a 103-year-old. Like, I just can't take this level of stress and aggravation. Like, it's killing me. I'm gonna be dead at 34 at this rate.
Oh no, Alex, we can't have that happen.
I know it's a problem, Jordan. And Taran was talking about how we got to hear from everyone. I love, it really felt like a Survivor reunion. We got to see them watching moments from the season, which is awesome. And that's something I wish they would do more of. We got to hear from everybody. But yeah, again, we hear from Shane and Danielle, and we're invested in their showmance. Here's Whitney, a girl that got engaged since she was in the Big Brother house, and her fiance isn't allowed in the door. I can't get over this, Jordan. You're not welcome here.
So it was.
They don't want to sell that, let alone
it was Alex and Whitney's boyfriend.
Alex's boyfriend and Whitney's fiance.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm correcting you on.
I thought it was Alex and Morgan's, but it was Alex and Whitney.
Yeah, I think he said Morgan. I think Alex accidentally said Morgan at one point. But yeah, it's Alex and Whitney.
Alex and Whitney. Okay. But what I'm trying to get across here is that not only did they turn away family, they turned away an opportunity to publicize a manse. Which, have you ever known CBS to do such a thing? I mean, what is going on over there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a different season for sure. Did you guys read that article, that interview that the Hollywood Reporter did with Allison Grodner? Did anyone read that? Taran, sounds like you did.
Yeah, Taran sounds like Taran did.
Basically, Julie was asked, are there any elements from Big Brother OTT that you'd like to see in the summer version? And she said,
was it Julie or was it Allison? Julie Chen.
It was Julie, which is, thank God it's only Julie, but still.
The mouth of Grodner.
Julie said, I would love to see all of the strong American involvement in the Big BOTT season, in the regular season. I think that would be great. I feel like it adds a great element to the game. I think that that it really helps, like it punishes people when they misbehave, and it's just such a great thing that and like I'm literally reading this and I am slamming my face against the monitor. Like I cannot stand this. Just the idea that's even in somebody's head, like how can you be so far off? Like nobody thinks this. Nobody wants this. There's not a single person.
Jordan literally, I just saw Jordan in the corner make the exact reaction I had when I read the thing, which was like, oh, thanks, Julie. That's what we want. Actually, we'd rather go and hang ourselves.
Yeah, no, we don't want that. And my goodness, Taran got so worked up. He sounded like the America's Care Package guy, like special delivery and then back to the backyard.
Even Cornbread knows this. You know what he was saying in the backyard interviews? He said, Jeff asked, how do you like America being so involved? Cornbread says, I don't like it one bit. It's a bunch of push button gangsters. And yeah, it is. We don't want this. Nobody wants it. Let's not do it.
Well, in fairness, Cornbread was got out at the hand of those push button gangsters. But Brent, go ahead.
I will say that as someone who's on this panel as well, I did vote many a time, and I enjoy the America's input occasionally. I feel like there's a happy medium. I'm not playing with you guys. I do feel like there's a medium between where they can have America involved.
Right though.
Well, I just don't get it. We have two shows. Why can't one be strategic and one be in America's vote? I don't understand why we have to straddle the fence on both so hard that our nuts hurt. What are we doing here?
Look, there are people that listen to us. Look, there are people that listen to us when we say that we hated Big Brother or the Battle of the Block. They tried the company line for a season. And then they were like, okay, we get it. You guys hate Battle of the Block. We get it. So I do feel like that this is more of the same of it's just Julie spouting the company line like, oh, I love America's involved. It was fun. It was interesting. All these people are so passionate. But I do feel like they really understand that doesn't really belong in Big Brother proper. I feel like there is a way they could do America's involvement where we punish people for doing things we don't like, reward people in the game. Like in Big Brother 6 when we gave Janelle, whatever the hell we gave her, like a trip or a phone call. I forget what we gave her.
I think it was a phone call.
Yeah, something like that. And I mean, there's ways to do that don't affect the game if you still have a jury. I feel like that a lot of the bad behavior that we saw from different sides of the house, mainly the Jamboree side, was that the fact that there was no jury, there was no one you had to be accountable to with your actions down the line. I feel like if there was a jury, maybe Jason behaves a little better. Maybe Jason doesn't make that final fight deal if he knows he's going to have to answer to these people later on. And it wasn't a good look for him. So I continue going back to the fact that there were things. Look, I was a Jason fan. I voted for him coming into the season. I love Jason. And then I quickly fell out of love with Jason by like week 4, week 5. And I was like, well, why do I feel this way? It was because I just didn't like the person that I saw in original Big Brother when he was on the show. I think someone here pointed out that we didn't really get to know Jason. He was only there for 3 to 4 weeks. He still had cigarettes at the time, and then he was quickly gone, and he was on Twitter with the rest of us. This time around, we got to see the full Jason running out of cigarettes, running his mouth, and at least for part of the time, it wasn't a good look.
Taran, speaking of just the America's involvement thing and what Brent's talking about here, I feel like the America's Care Package, now that we've seen it on back-to-back seasons, it's going to be a staple of Big Brother moving forward. What do you think about that?
You know, if you're going to take any of the voting, the care package is the least offensive to me. It certainly can be game-changing. It certainly can be something that's going to drastically affect the outcome, but it is something that can somewhat be gamed. Like, it's not so unstoppable like the nomination is. It's not so unstoppable like choosing a winner is. You know, it's something. At least, you know, it's something that gave us a scenario where it was a really complicated week during the co-HOH week, and it's something that, like, it did give us something to talk about every week. I don't think it does good things to the game. If I had my choice, I'd say don't do it at all. I think that all of the American votes are just like, they don't add anything to the game. The game is great on its own. I think that there can be American involvement things that don't affect the game, that can be very fun and can be very entertaining. But let's trash it all together. But if you have to keep one, you know, fine. I'll take the stupid care packages.
The chat room is very anti-care package, and for the record, I'm also not the biggest fan of the care package. I just feel like that's one other America's vote that they could incorporate that would satisfy the producers.
I like the care package mainly because everything is shown to us ahead of time. Like, we knew what all the care packages were coming into this season. We knew that we didn't want to give Jason one early on, and I feel like, you know, like on the normal show, I feel like it didn't really work out because there's so many casuals voting, and like the most popular people got the earliest care packages, which by default were not as powerful as the ones that came later. I mean, that's how Michelle ended up getting the co-HOH thing, because there were other people who were probably more popular than her that had already gotten a care package. This season, I feel like we did a better job of saying, okay, we want to make sure that we save Jason, save Alex, save these people for when they need their care packages. And that's why we gave Chrissy the care package in week 1, because we were like, well, we don't really care about her, and plus she might save Jason. That's how far I've come, because I was begging Chrissy to save Jason during week 2, and then look at me now.
Alex, I was mentioning earlier to Taran here about this interview that Allison Grodner did with the Hollywood Reporter, and in that interview, she said that she wasn't, you know, they were going to pull some elements from OTT. They were thinking about that. They were experimenting, but one of them, she said that they probably are not going to transfer over. Two things is the access to competition, so having everything play out live. They said that's not going to happen, and she also said that it's very unlikely that the live DRs are going to be a thing, or at least it's going to be hard for that to pull that off.
Only the two best things.
Oh,
yeah, of course. So
everything we hate and get rid of the only things we like.
So
awesome.
do you think, Alex, like, how hard is it for you? Because you guys are watching feeds all the time. How hard is it going to be for you? Well, first, how hard is it going to be from going from this season where you have all access literally to everything to going to Big Brother Canada 5 where the feeds cut every few minutes, and then again BB18 where it's so restrictive? That's got to be really tough on someone like you, right?
It's frustrating, but I'd make my peace with it. What's way more frustrating to me is the twists and the things that just change the nature of a game that I really enjoy, where to the point where it's no longer even the same game anymore. Like, I signed up to cover Big Brother, and like, it's just every season we seem to get further and further away from what that was in my mind when I started watching it. And like, I'm sorry, but like, I feel like there's a reason Big Brother 1 failed and then Big Brother 2 succeeded, and that format carried over. That is popular with people. People like that. There's a reason Survivor's been on 33 seasons. And like, again, I said, like, if you're going to have 2 shows, there's plenty of room for one to be your America's vote, care package, whatever situation, and the other to just not do all that stuff, because it's unnecessary. It forces players to react instead of be proactive and making their own moves in the game. And that just leads to like a very uninteresting, you know, end game, because people have been reacting instead of acting. And I'll only stop there to point out something that had me distracted during the entirety of this conversation, which is that there is currently a GoFundMe up to raise $250,000 for Jason Roy.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, you know what?
Great for him.
Good for you.
Good for
You
him.
know what? Great for him. You know, he's never going to be the winner of Big Brother Over the Top, but he can get some money if he wants. I mean, obviously, I'm based on past experiences I've seen for this sort of thing. Like I remember when Jeff Britton from American Ninja Warrior didn't win the $1 million, even though he completed all 6 stages. Spoiler alert. And people will like try to GoFundMe thing to try to like raise money for him, and that got about like $10,000 or so, and that was on like regular TV. So I'd be shocked if this raised anything close to that, but we'll see.
It's
I mean, in
amazing.
anything,
Yeah, you know what? Good for Jason. If
hopefully that money goes to Jason.
And hey, I mean, I'm not claiming Jason made it. Jason definitely didn't make
You know
it.
what?
Somebody made it for Jason Nation, and people are contributing to it. So,
what's it at right now, Alex? Have you seen?
oh, it just went up, but it's already at like $425. So,
Wow, okay.
if people want to send me $425, you know, knock yourselves out.
Well, I just want to make sure that, I mean, like, I hope that whoever's doing that will actually send the money to Jason.
Yes,
I mean,
that
you-
is a
you-
huge thing, Brent.
You don't know where that money's going to go to, so don't just
Jason
send
Nation, eh?
Yeah.
But Brent is 100% right. If you see this GoFundMe, you're thinking, oh, I want to give money to Jason. Maybe wait for Jason to
wait
send
for
out a link.
Jason or Davon.
Yes,
For real. Like,
yes,
that's what you
because-
need to wait for.
Because I believe how GoFundMe works is you get the money. It's not like a Kickstarter or something like that where you pledge the money and it only goes to the person as soon as the money is raised. You send that money right away, and it goes to the person who made the account. So hypothetically, this person could take this money that is supposed to be going to Jason and just take it all for themselves. So
Yeah,
please.
I didn't realize you sent the money right away. This is 100% a scam. There's no way this is not
Yes.
a
So
scam.
for people, and it's unfortunate. $425 got lost tonight. Basically
It's
stolen.
opportunistic and lucrative is what it is. Jordan.
Yeah.
Really,
that's
someone
terrible.
bring something up really
Someone is a
quickly.
Slytherin. That's all I'm saying here. Someone's
Yeah,
fucking
okay.
involved.
Can we talk about, like, you guys said this at the beginning of the season. You said that I don't think that the winner of this season, we can compare them to Big Brother at all. Given that Morgan is, what's up, Taran? You
I just want to finish this discussion
Okay,
we were
go
having
ahead.
before about the Alison Grodner interview.
I got off track with the GoFundMe.
All right, go.
So yeah, it's like I feel like this is something that's been happening with Big Brother, where like they introduce these new features, right? Like these great new live DRs. We get to watch the competitions, and like in typical Big Brother fashion, they're taking everything that we hate and being like, isn't that great? And everything that we love and being like, wasn't that terrible? Shouldn't we not do that? And I just like, seriously, I don't understand where it's like, where are they getting their feedback? Like who is talking to them? Where are they getting their information? It's just like, it's a fiery rage that just like burns inside of me. I don't understand.
Calm down, Queen.
And like, so, but like,
Flames on the side of my face.
Done yet? Sorry.
We had these feeds that didn't cut out that allowed us to see everything that was happening in the game. And this is something that I've always wanted to see because we missed so much of the strategy in a regular season of Big Brother. And in this season, there wasn't a lot of strategy to watch. We had all these feeds for not a lot of purpose. There wasn't a lot going on most of the time. So it's just like, it's frustrating that we're potentially losing these things. And I know that not everyone agrees with me and that some people don't like these things and probably may not want to see them. And I also think that a large part of it is our fault for watching the competitions live and complaining about them and saying that they were rigged. And so I'm sure that played an aspect into it too. But it's like the whole thing is just it's so frustrating to me.
Okay, Brent, go ahead. I know you want to jump in.
Well, I'm just far be it for me to defend Alison Grodner, but my God, can we wait till the season plays out a little bit and to give her a chance? I mean, I think she just didn't want to overpromise anything here. Like, I mean, the thing she said about the competitions, that was on point. I mean, like the competitions that they build in regular Big Brother, they could require a lot of buildup and a lot of production time and a lot of things that they don't want us to see. That's not going to be possible to show all of that over the feeds.
And
likewise,
live DRs are so difficult.
Can I did not interrupt you when you talk. Can I get through this? The live DRs, I'm trying to tell you guys that I feel like that will become a staple of Big Brother. I feel like that there's a way for them to do it, but she's also remembering that this is an edited show that is consumed by a mass audience, not like Big Brother Over the Top, where it's just on a streaming or on the internet. And she's probably cautious about that. Do I think it will come back? Yes. I just would like to cut her a little bit of slack here because I do feel like that ultimately she does listen to the fans if you're loud enough.
I guess.
And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be loud, and you're saying I can't be loud.
Well, this is Julie, right? Like,
Taran, don't come for me this week, bitch.
This was a Julie Chen interview, right?
No. So hold on.
No,
So
now you're talking about the Allison.
Grodner.
I'm just trying to clarify.
I know why. I know.
I don't know.
There's a Julie Chen interview and there's an Allison Grodner interview.
Okay. Yeah. So this was the Allison interview. Yeah. I mean, I go back to the Battle of the Block, and now nobody liked it, and they brought it back, and it's just hard for me to want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I totally get what you're saying, and like, I wish I wasn't so jaded. I feel like they've like burned me too many times, and now I'm like I'm like someone who can't get in a relationship anymore because I've been like, I'm just like scorned and
so now you got to go on BB love tours now, Alex. Is that it?
Well, never live it down.
But yeah, I mean, I think, Taran makes a good point where it's just like, who are they listening to really when they say these things? Like
even Joey Rodriguez, Alex.
But it's just, when Jeff Probst talks about things like people on the street say, at least you like can go to the Facebook page and be like, yeah, people are in fact saying that. Even if it's not how I feel, I can confirm that people are saying that. I can't find anywhere where anyone liked the Battle of the Block. I can't find anywhere where anyone's saying they want the things they're claiming they want to bring back. Like, and I posed this question on Twitter and I didn't get a single answer that was serious. Has there ever been a reality TV show host who's as out of touch with the fan base as Julie Chen? I don't think there is. I don't think it's close.
Oh,
I don't think Donald Trump even hits the list.
Oh, geez. Well, maybe we shouldn't touch that, but
I'm saying it.
I see, Brent, you're thinking.
That's just my take.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, I'm trying to think like
king of controversial statements.
I mean, it would have to be some obscure show, but you're talking about like mainstream reality TV show. Who's out of touch with the fans the most? I think Julie hasn't. It's not Jeff Probst. It's not Phil from The Amazing Race. It's not Chris Harrison.
It's not Arissa. She's all over it.
Yeah, but I would say
but real tea. I love Arissa Cox, and we are very thankful to have her. But she has been on our podcast. We've complained about the twists, and she says things like, "Well, we got to keep them on their toes and stuff."
That's fair.
I don't think that we can just like excuse everybody else. I mean, she toes the company line a little bit too. I love Arissa, but she does. We hate some of the twists in Big Brother Canada. And yet she's like, well, I feel like we got to have them. And we're all listening to the podcast going, no, you really don't. But okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if 2016 wasn't a season of 3 straight seasons that were just so twist heavy, there's no way I would feel so strongly. You know what I mean? But it is. We jumped right from BB Can 4 to the BB-18, which had like care packages and teams and all these things that like, I was just like, this isn't Big Brother anymore. And the BBOTT, I'm like, this really isn't Big Brother. And then this article, it really bummed me out because I just feel like they're taking all the wrong lessons away from what people are saying. And I'm just like, you can't possibly be reading what people are saying if this is what you think. It's frustrating to me.
I feel like they're doing that though because they got what they wanted out of this season. They wanted people to be more involved. They wanted a bigger social media presence. They wanted BBOTT to be trending on Twitter. They got all of that. Their advertisers have to be happy with it, or the people who are behind it, money wise, have to be happy with it. What the presence that they got. So the people who are the people who call the shots, who put on the show, are the ones who are looking at the bottom line. Is this worth putting on the air? And I feel like for the things that they wanted, they got it. I am hopeful that I feel like it's easy enough to bring back live DRs. I feel like you maybe once a week and have a set amount of questions and have people come in. They can easily pull that off. I feel like she knows that, but she doesn't. Look, if she gives it to you now, then she's not going to have anything to say to you when Big Brother comes back. So
that's a fair point.
Give them some slack. I'm happy with this. Go ahead.
Like, how are we supposed to react when she says we're definitely not bringing that back? We're supposed to take that as, oh, well,
I didn't read her say that. She didn't say that about the
I don't think she said definitely not back, but she just said that it's going to be tough to pull off or something along those lines. Is from what I can recall seeing.
Just cut me some slack here. It's been a crazy night, and I'm horribilizing, Jordan. Do you know that word? My mom uses that word. When you just jump to the worst case scenario, you get like a little piece of news that's like, oh, this thing in the future could go badly, and you're like, oh, this is going to be the worst thing. I just know it. Horribilizing. That's my word. Okay,
there we go. New word of the day.
Okay, so I had a point.
Yeah. So Brent, Brent, you're saying that at the beginning of the season we talked about will the winner of this season be considered a real winner of Big Brother? Brent, what do you think about that?
Well, I took umbrage to that because the two of these people didn't said that, well, we can't even compare this to a regular season of Big Brother. But like, I would like you guys to analyze this, because given that Morgan is a fairly prototypical winner who was very social with everybody, who didn't go out of her way to make enemies, I feel like she does very well in a regular season of Big Brother. I mean, what do you guys think about Morgan's game as compared to the 18 winners or so that we've had so far?
Well, first off, I just think it's, again, I think I'm with these guys still. I think it's just different. Do I think Morgan could do well in a regular season? Sure, but we don't know that because we haven't seen it, Taran.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it's what I said in the beginning of the season. It's a different game. You have to play differently. You can't transfer the wins because they're playing different games. And so, like, we can't say that Morgan was the 5th best Big Brother winner because she didn't play the game of Big Brother that we're comparing it to. She played a very different game. She played Big Brother OTT. And in that game, it was about winning over the audience and surviving until the end so that the audience could vote for you. And she succeeded in that. And I think that she did very well with that. I think, and I was saying, I think whoever wins the popular vote here is probably the best player. And I'm going to stand by that. I think Morgan played the best game. The fact that she was able to survive until the end and then beat the favorite, essentially, the person that came in with a built-in fan base, I think that says a lot. I think it also says that Jason probably, he lost a lot of fans, and she probably, like that wasn't necessarily to do with her, like all the way, but she definitely played a good game to get there. She played a good game to provide a good alternative for Jason, enough so that she was able to win the game. But like I'm saying, like, that's not the regular Big Brother. That can't be compared in that sense. And it's not worse, it's just different.
We've been talking about Morgan beating Jason for a half hour now, and it still sounds to me like a lie. Like, I just can't get over this.
Well, no, and Alex, it's almost been an hour that we've been
But Alex, look at Taran's poll. I mean, that had over 10,000 votes, and you can't scam that poll. And
we dismissed it. We treated it like Nate Silver. We didn't listen. It's too late.
I mean, I can believe it based on what I saw, but I just feel like that the pro Jason people were a little bit more like in your face about it, but the Morgan people were a lot more quiet about it. I mean, I certainly didn't advertise on Twitter the fact that I voted for Morgan. I really didn't. I didn't want to get a lot of hate from people, so I just kind of quietly did it. A few people direct messaged me, said, "Who did you vote for, Brent?" And I said, "I voted for Morgan, but I expect Jason to win, and I'll congratulate him when he does." Like, that's what I said to somebody earlier today. So I can understand why people who voted for Morgan were probably a little bit more quiet about it, but there were plenty of people out there.
So, Brent, in terms of just to wrap up this whole discussion here, you say that Morgan should be, even though the games are different, you would still consider Morgan a true winner.
You guys I can't take you guys seriously when you say, well, this game is so different than regular Big Brother.
So you believe the games are on.
I feel like they're at least tangentially related. Yes.
Okay.
I don't feel like they're from entirely different families.
Yeah,
to hear Taran tell it, it's like,
they're tangentially related in the same way that her win is tangentially related, but it's not in the same category. It's a tangentially related.
I mean, how can you call Rachel's win or Dick's win? I mean, come on, these aren't the same games.
If you held a gun to my head and were like, "Put her on your list, damn it," I would be like, I mean, social game. I would expect her to play the social game of like a Jordan Lloyd, who just, she's not likely to piss anyone off unless they do something that's kind of like over the top to her. And then, not like real strong strategic acumen that we saw, but, certainly capable because Jordan, got to a Final Four again. So I would give Morgan a shot.
Multiple times during the season, we looked at the games that were being played and we said, if this was a regular season of Big Brother, how would this fare? And we said every time, like, it would be colossally different. We can't even remotely start to compare what would have happened because they would have been acting entirely differently and the results of what they did would have been entirely different. And that's why I'm saying that if they were in a regular season of Big Brother, even one with a ton of twists like Rachel's win, it would be a drastically different game. They'd be acting drastically differently. And that's what I mean when I say you can't really compare the two. You can start to compare them, but not nearly in the same strength of comparison that you can with regular winners.
I feel like the Jamboree still acts like complete buttholes the entire time. I mean, I don't feel like they're acting differently if they're on the main show, and I feel like the Ball Smashers probably acts a little cliquish early on. I mean, the only thing that I can see that is definitively different if this is on the TV show with the same cast and basically the same twist is that Jason probably is targeted. Like if America doesn't have as big of an involvement, I feel like they're going to target Jason. You know, Scott said specifically that the reason he didn't target Jason during week 3 is because he didn't want to be marked by America. Basically, America said hands off in regards to Jason. Sort of hilarious now, considering he didn't win the game. But I mean, there was an element of that the house guests certainly believe. So, I mean, aside from that, I feel like these people, like, look, a couple things. This was a great cast. I don't really like how some of them acted, but they brought it. Even some of the people on the Jamboree side, like Danielle, I really enjoyed watching them play. Best cast in a while. I didn't like some of the twists, and I don't know. I feel like Morgan is a valid winner in any season of Big Brother, whether it's Big Brother Over the Top or the regular one.
Yeah, regardless, she won of whether how you categorize it. She won $250,000, so she's happy. She's got the money, so good for Morgan. And yes, I guess if I were to put her in a list of all of the winners, she would probably be in my if I have them in tiers of like quarters, probably in my lowest quarter. I would say of all my players overall, but anyway, I'd have to think about that a little bit more. Let's get into some of your guys' questions. Again, you can send those to us by using hashtag RHAPpy on Twitter. You can tweet me. I am at Jordan Parhar. And just a reminder to you guys, we were so overwhelmed with all of the OT or the finale stuff with Morgan beating Jason, and that really had fried my brain. I forgot to mention that we are going to be announcing the results of the So You Think You Can podcast competition tonight. Rob Cesternino is going to show up at some point. We don't know when, but some point during this podcast. He has the link. Rob's going to come on. Rob is he's busy recording Survivor podcast right now. So once he's done that, he's going to jump on with us and he's going to announce the results of whether Adam or Melissa is going to be unveiled as the newest member of the LFC. But before we get to that, let's get into your questions. This first question is from friend of the show, Edward Morris, Edmo. Edmo says, is this the most shocking finale result this year? We had Paul and Nicole in BB18. We had the Pax Bros and Kelsey beating Tim in Big Brother Canada 4. He also mentions in Survivor, we had Michelle beat Aubrey. What do you guys think about that? I think it might be the most shocking for me just because I thought Jason had it in the bag the entire way, but that could be recency bias. Brent, what do you think?
Wow, it's really tough to say. I mean, I did feel like that there was an element that a part of me that knew that Morgan could take this based on what I was seeing on social media. And I really didn't see the Michelle win on Survivor coming. I also didn't see the Pax brothers winning over Kelsey. I probably should have. And I mean, what was the other one? Oh, the Paul lost to Nicole. I mean, I knew that Paul could lose that going into the night. Once I saw the jury and saw the questions, that's probably the most blindsided I've ever been. When Julie turned Avon's vote around and it said Nicole, I was like, what the F? Like, how did that happen? So, we all get a little bit of medicine every now and then. That was certainly my medicine at the time. And now I get a nice little tequila to wash it down with.
Yeah, I think it was the Pax Bros. I feel like, when we found out that Tim lost that Final 3 competition, everyone was saying Kelsey just won the game. And then many people were very sure about it, including myself. And then we found out, no, that didn't happen. The Pax Bros won. And that was completely shocking. And it's funny because we got another sibling who did another surprising win here. But yeah, I think the Pax Bros by far were the most surprising. I mean, I did say I thought Jason had a 70% chance of winning tonight. But 30% is not a small number. I mean, that's a pretty significant amount still. Like, I wasn't that shocked.
Alex,
like Pax Bros, I was at like 2%. Like, I was like, no way Pax Bros are winning this.
I don't want to get into Survivor Australia and a winner that shall remain nameless from this year.
Okay.
So, because I'll just get all worked up all over again, and I don't need that in my life. So for me, I think it is this. And I'll just say it's because with the other ones, I knew exactly the exact makeup of the jury, and I could sit there with a pad and paper, and in fact did try to quantify all the ways it could possibly go. And even if it didn't seem like a likely path, I saw a path for the Pax Bros. And even if it didn't seem like a likely path, I saw the path for Nicole. But I can't write down everyone who's going to vote for BB Over the Top on a piece of paper and figure that out. So I just really, really, I mean, based on what I'd been seeing, based on, Twitter, based on kind of everything that had been, that I had been taking in over the course of this season, I was just sure that Jason had it. I mean, to me, it was like a done deal a week and a half ago, and I've just been making jokes thinking like, can we just wait for this thing to be over? Because it's already over. And I'm feeling super wrong tonight, man. I was way off.
Yeah. We all were, Alex. We all were. Okay, let's take this one from John Densford. John says, "Hey guys, there's 3 months until Big Brother Canada 5. What will you podcast about next? I need a BB Can 1 and 2 podcast for my rewatch." Okay, so but for real, guys, what are we going to podcast about? Because we got to wait till basically, I'm guessing March, till Big Brother Canada 5. So is there an off-season Big Brother topic or maybe Survivor topic that you guys wanted to talk about that comes to mind? Taran, anything for you?
I don't have any ideas off the top of my head. I can say that I will be doing probably like a couple American Ninja Warrior podcasts with Lita, so that'll be fun if you have any interest in that. And I'm giving time for these other guys to come up with ideas. If they have
Why don't we
any.
rank the winners?
Oh, what? Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, we'll podcast about John. Keep your panties on. Like, we'll podcast about something. Come on. We
We'll
always
figure
come
it
up
out.
with something to do. Like, well, we've barely touched Survivor at all. I feel like we need to, like, people always ask me, what do you think about this? Or, somebody was just complaining about my team. I don't want to spoil anything for people who have watched Survivor, but my team is not looking good at this point. But Team Brent, which is Taran's team, that is doing great. So I win no matter what.
It's been a rough couple of weeks for me. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And then I think, here's an idea, because we did we tried to cast like a Big Brother Second Chances season in June, I believe it was, and happened to nail 4, I believe it was, out of 4 returning house guests.
Yes.
Nicely done, gentlemen. I propose we do the same thing for Big Brother Canada.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. Sure, we could do that. Hypothetically, if Big Brother Canada 5 is a returning player
I put
season.
it to you, sir, that we do that.
Okay,
It's
okay.
so funny
there we
too.
go.
I saw John Party on
Twitter.
from Big Brother Canada winner from season 2, saying that he wanted a recount. So like everybody who was like a former house guest,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they were like in lockstep supporting Jason, and that didn't really sit well with me.
Well, I think
They're
that-
rioting in the BB streets right now. Cars are being overturned. There's like
how did you
dumpster
guys
fire.
feel about that? What did you guys care about that? Maybe you guys don't feel the same way I do.
Well, I think for me it's a little different because like some of these people are my friends,
Right,
listening to
I
stuff,
know.
and I think that I've met Jason. These people have met Jason. Jason's a very nice guy in real life. But yes, Brent, you bring up a valid point. Most of these people didn't really watch BBOTT or pay attention. However, let's say hypothetically, Brent, you were on Sequester. Okay, you were on Sequester. I'm not going to probably watch Sequester, but if the final thing is a vote where I can vote for you to win, and let's say on Sequester you said a bunch of terrible things that were
unlikely.
Very unlikely, Brent. That doesn't sound like you at all. But like, let's say you said a bunch of things that weren't so great, and all the Sequester fans were really mad. But the finale of Sequester was okay. It's a fan vote, and Brent is in the finals. I'm going to be like, hey, all my friends, everyone who follows me, vote for Brent. I didn't watch this season, but vote for Brent. I don't care. Brent's my friend. Vote for Brent. And that's kind of where I think a lot of the house guests were coming from in their support of Jason. And I don't really see a problem with it, Brent. I
don't see a problem with it. It just it shouldn't, because I get what you're saying.
Yes.
I do believe you, but it did rub me the wrong way, because I just felt like it was like they were telling us how to vote. And I didn't.
And that's fair. That's totally fair.
yeah.
And that's frustrating because I get it. I mean, there's all these people who are like, oh yeah, like I know what's happening, and I know what's going on, but they don't. Nobody watches.
That's the problem with any campaign. However you manage any campaign for any kind of election, right? It's like you could put out an ad that's really well received and wins you a bunch of popularity, or you could spend all that money, put out an ad, and lose popularity because it's not received the way you mean for it to be. And I wonder if that was an element here where, I mean, I love some of those people who were in that video. Like, I consider a couple of those people like friends, not as many as you, Jordan, obviously, because you're such an insider. But
please.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that video and I was like, I mean, screw it. The people who know me will know that this is lighthearted and to not take it seriously. And I tweeted a joke about how, like, I saw a dog who couldn't walk in the park, and he was the lamest thing I ever saw until I watched this, recap video for Jason. So, like, Like, it made me laugh, and if you know me, it's a joke.
What? Like, what was that? Oh, a dog? How does that have to do with the dog?
Because he can't walk. And
Oh,
that's
the delivery was a
the
little off on
dictionary
that.
definition
It was-
of lame, Jordan.
Alex, I laughed my ass off. I totally.
No,
got
I
it.
think
Like,
it's
it was
hilarious.
great.
I
Yeah.
just, I'm like, what? This is like when you made the homeless Big Brother joke.
No, that one was a little bit worse. I feel like
Some
I got.
people are still coming at me, telling me that's a good idea. I'm like, I don't know what I start when I open my mouth on the
That's
show.
so funny. Well,
No idea.
back to the original question. We could use ideas for what you guys want to hear from us in terms of off-season Big Brother podcast. So if you have an idea, you have something you think we should talk about, and you want to pitch it to me, you can email me RHAPpyhour@robasawebsite.com. You've got that email. If you ever want to send an email, you can send it in that way. But if you've got ideas for off-season topics, that's the best way to get those to us. Let's take one more question. This one's from Riley Rage. Riley says, do you think we will see Jason Roy play Big Brother for a third time? That's an interesting question. We've talked about this before. Now that Jason's got this story arc, he returns on OTT, he makes it all the way to the end, and then he loses Taran Armstrong. Do you think that means that he's going to be back and we're going to see him on our TV screens again, or do you think this is the end of the line for him?
You know, I was less positive about this before tonight, but I feel like after tonight, I think if he wants to come back, they're going to have him. I think that this is a huge win for them. The fact that it was a 500-person margin between Jason and Morgan, that's a crazy story. That's a crazy success story for this show, and they want to remind people of that as often as they can. And so if that means getting Jason back and playing either in the regular version or this version for Redemption, I feel like they're going to want it for sure.
Brent, what do you think? Do you want to see Jason, Brent?
At the moment, no. I've had quite enough of Jason Roy. You know, ask me a year from now, I might say something different. My initial take was no, that they wouldn't ask him back. I mean, like, he was a pretty mediocre player the first time around, and then he had all of the advantages in the world, came back and didn't win again. All of the stuff he says would only be magnified on a regular Big Brother show if he was saying this. Like, I mean, think about how Big Brother 15 just totally got put under the microscope because of some of the stuff the house guests were saying. Think about Paul. He said the C word one time and how much airtime that got, people talking about that. I mean, I can't imagine they'd really want to bring Jason back for a third season on Big Brother proper. I mean, maybe Big Brother Over the Top, but I mean, who knows? I'm going to say no.
It does, though. It makes me kind of scared for people who have played one time that I really enjoyed, because like the precedent we're setting is not great. Like, everyone's turned against Nicole on her second time, and everyone turned against James on his second time, and everyone turned against Frank on his second time, and everyone's turned against Jason on his second time. And like, I'm just like, if I'm Johnny Mac right now, I'm staying home. I don't need this aggravation.
How can you turn on Johnny Mac, though? Come on.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he, pulls a me and just says something, and then 5 seconds later is like, I probably shouldn't have said that, but it's too late. It's gone and out into the world forever.
When is it? I don't know. J-Mac is a pretty likable guy, Alex, but I guess it's
I
true.
feel like for me, like, I mean, if
happen
Jason had,
to anyone.
If Jason had ever realized that maybe, hey, did the DR never say to him, girlfriend, you might want to turn down the smack talk just a little bit. It's not playing really well. Like, I mean, I feel like they could have thrown him that bone at some point, but maybe that would have affected the game. So maybe that's why they didn't. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if he would have just owned his shit a little bit and said, okay, bad call, I shouldn't have done that. Sorry, America. Then I feel like I would have looked upon that more favorably than I did by him being completely oblivious to it.
Let's take this question. This one is from Jeremiah. Yeah.
By the way, are we just tap dancing until Rob gets here? Is that what's going on?
Yes, basically.
That's great.
I could just
What are you
announce the
talking
winner
about?
right now. The winner is me.
Yeah, no.
I
messaged Rob. Rob is on the way, so we're
Okay.
A good magician doesn't show people what's behind the curtain. All right? You know what I'm saying?
all right. This
You are wearing the shirt, so I just figured,
yeah, that's true.
Fits.
If Brent had the hat, and a bunny rabbit, he really would have the whole magician thing.
Well, he
Thank
just
you.
got
Thank
back
you.
from performing the greatest trick of all, getting Morgan a BBOTT win. All right.
You know what's funny is I had a question earlier this week, and and someone said, "What are the chances of, or is there any way Morgan can win this thing without Brent hijacking the vote completely?" And I said no. I was like, no, I'm like, there's no way Morgan's done. And then the person said, no. I meant like, what are the chances that Brent's actually going to hijack the vote so she can win? Because I want
Jordan was like, that's impossible.
I was like, that's not going to happen.
I didn't even tweet that I did it. Like, I didn't even say anything on Twitter that I voted for Morgan. I mean, I was like, I didn't want to get the hate from the Jason people asking me to defend my vote. You know how I defend my vote? Julie said that the winner of the season is basically America's favorite house guest. You know what? Of the three of them, I liked Morgan the best. Sue me.
There we go. Boom. Okay.
And I'll go ahead and take this opportunity because I know I told you guys pre-show, but I don't know if people know that I voted 20 times for Jason yesterday and 20 times for Morgan today. It's just so I could say I canceled out my own votes. Yes. I'm playing the game correctly.
Amazing, Alex. And actually, you know, it helps Chrissy move down. So I think that's a good move.
That's the message I was really trying to send, Jordan. No more casting people who just want to sit around and talk about their bleedy hands. That's the only message I look to send with my votes.
This next question, go ahead, Brent.
Really quickly, I just thought of something really quickly. Just based on, like, I don't want to spoil Survivor again, but this season has been out of control, and everybody who came to play Survivor came to play. I mean, they all are desperate to win the money. What a breath of fresh air, considering all the stuff we watched on Big Brother Over the Top, with Chrissy being happy to go to the end with somebody like Jason. I know on the So You Think You Can podcast contest, Liana said that, you know, maybe Chrissy thinks that she can win. I don't know. I mean, I kind of disagree with that. I feel like she kind of knew she was going to lose to Jason and was totally okay with that.
She looked ready to stand up before they got third place. She's like, is it me? Is it my time? Can you just start the K so I can go ahead and get out of here?
No. I mean, I just can't. I can't handle people like that. That's the thing that frustrates. Look, there's many things that we disagree with, but that unites all of us. We can't stand when people don't play for the win.
I'm doing the Hunger Games thing, dude.
Okay, I was like, what? Is something wrong with your microphone? You're going
No. Just like the three finger solidarity thing, Brent. We've all got yes, the Katniss thing. Okay.
Yeah, even Justin, people started. I mean, and Justin is like the one person who even had enough charisma to even come close to making you feel okay with him being someone you want to like, even though he's like taking bathroom breaks during comps. But even Justin, like down the stretch here, he started to lose people where it's just like, man, I like you, but I just can't get behind this line of logic that you're pushing here.
Okay, I had to raise my hand to ask to go. Just feel like I'm in school. I did this on a phone call with these guys yesterday, and it worked effectively. So I did it again. No.
Just cut my mic.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
You asked. You were like, you were waiting patiently to be called on, and then you were like, I just need to go to the bathroom real quick. Why didn't you just go?
Oh, because I didn't want to be a dick and just leave the conversation.
Disappear.
Justin just in the middle of
walk out.
Middle of HOH competitions.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm raising my hand because I've been trying to get to kind Jeremiah's question for several minutes here, and so I want to get to it. Jeremiah Yap asked, "What do you think about a woman beating a man in back-to-back seasons after taking 18 seasons to happen?" Now, this is interesting. This is something that I think production was, very curious about. And you know what? Jeremiah's question is going to have to be put on hold.
Jeremiah's question is never going to get asked.
Poor Jeremiah. His question is not going to get asked because breaking news, Rob Cesternino is here. Rob, what's your take on Morgan being announced as the winner of Big Brother Over the Top?
I've just gotten off of the voicemail podcast with Mike Bloom, and I really could not believe the news that was coming across my news feed. I have not seen the episode yet tonight. I don't know exactly how this happened. I can't wait to listen to you guys on the podcast to tell me exactly what went on. I've definitely been seeing across my timeline accusations of hacking, of rigging, of many different things that are being floated about across the Twitterverse at this hour.
Yeah, it's been a crazy night, Rob. We didn't see it coming. A lot of people are shocked here. And now I think we're ready for the results of another vote that America took part in, Rob.
Really in an unusual spot here where that for the Jason fan who maybe takes the sting off, maybe for the Morgan fan, this is the buzzkill. if it doesn't go the way that they want it to go. And of course, I will be back tomorrow night to give a full report on all this and discuss any new happenings and events that we learn in the next 24 hours in all of this. But so the So You Think You Can podcast competition has culminated to this point with our two amazing finalists of Adam Bongiovanni and Melissa Denny. And we got so much feedback from the audience in terms of the votes. And it was really a extremely tight vote that went back and forth. And that was a big consideration in terms of how that turned out. We also spoke in terms of the panel with myself, Jordan, the LFC, and Scott St. Pierre. And I could not be more proud of both of the competitors and the support that we got from you guys. But ultimately, we have to decide on one person to move forward with us. And the winner of the So You Think You Can podcast competition is Melissa Denny. And I really just want to say that Adam did a amazing job, and he is an absolute superstar. And I do hope to work with him as well in the future. But Melissa will be the next member of the LFC. And thank you so much to everybody. To everybody that that got us along this way. And really, I can't speak highly enough of Adam and how impressed I am with him and the work that he's capable of. And I'm looking forward to reaching out to him and figuring out a way to work with him as well. But Melissa will be the next member of the LFC.
All right, there we go. Rob, thank you for the announcement. Big news here. Big congratulations to Melissa. Rob, anything you want to add before you jump out?
No, I don't know what you guys have already said. I don't want to be redundant in terms of the reaction. So I'm just going to, later on tonight, I'm going to listen to you guys. I'm going to watch this whole show, and I can't wait to hear what you guys had to say. I noticed Brent is not in a veil tonight.
Rob, I had tequila. I've been ready. This was fun.
Wow.
And I don't drink, but it's actually just colored water. Like, it's a prop.
Okay. All right. Well,
remember the thing I said earlier about magicians and curtains?
Yes.
Right.
But that being said, I really am looking forward to getting the full download on everything and coming back and seeing the show and getting to talk tomorrow night. We will be back again tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, to talk about it all once again with you guys. But Jordan, great job.
Thanks, Rob. Really appreciate the confidence, even though you haven't seen the show today.
Yeah, can I stick around? Do I have to, am I running?
No, stick around.
If you want to stick around, feel free to stick around. So,
okay.
So we're gonna
kick him out of his own pod.
Yeah, exactly. Like get out of here, Rob. Just get lost. But no, stick around. But I just want to say, yeah, congrats to Melissa. We're gonna welcome you with open arms. We can't wait to have you on. And Adam, we love you too, and hopefully we can have you on some podcasts in the future as well, because it's been a pleasure getting to know both of you. But I kept trying to get to Jeremiah Yap's question, guys. So let's finally get to Jeremiah's question. Jeremiah was talking about how we've got back-to-back females beating males in Big Brother. Production was, this is a big storyline, how it had never happened before in 18 seasons of Big Brother. Now we've seen it twice in a span of a few months. So Taran, what do you think about this happening? And do you think now this whole narrative of the whole female beating a male thing, do you think it's going to go away now that this has happened back-to-back?
Will it go away? I guess it might a little bit. Certainly, the thing that was brought up the most was the statistic. I had always been somebody that said this statistic isn't as compelling as it looks. You can explain this away through standard deviation for the most part. And I think we're starting to see that swing back a little bit. So there's obviously still something there. There's obviously still things that should be talked about. But I definitely think that I'm happy to see this happen. I'm sure the show is happy to see this happen, and I'm sure that a lot of the audience is happy to see this happen. Will the conversation go away? No, but I do think it'll be less prominent than it used to be, for sure.
I think the best case argument for why it will go away, at least in the house next season, is that we're kind of at a point where 65% of house guests have only watched the previous season. So they won't know. So that's good.
That's a fair point. Brent, what do you think about this? And especially the fact that, now it's happened on a season of BB proper where there's a jury voting for, a female to beat a male. And then again, now we've got all of America voting for a female to beat a male. I mean, I think that's good, right?
I mean, I agree with Taran. I feel like it will dissipate a little bit. I still feel like that with some people, there'll be an element of at least worrying about it. I've said this on previous podcasts. It's probably why we need a new member of the LFC, because I tend to repeat myself sometimes because we all have our set opinions on things. But I do feel like that men in general get excused for more things than women do. I feel like that, if a man lies and backstabs, it's just, oh, he's playing the game. He's being aggressive. He's a gamer. When a woman does it, sometimes people call her a bitch. And I don't like it when people hold people to a double standard within a reality TV game. So I feel like that there's enough evidence, I feel like, in regards to some pairings that I feel like it's something you at least need to consider.
Rob, are you still here? Because your camera's frozen.
I think my camera is. Maybe this is a sign that I shouldn't be here.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You're always welcome on the RHAPpy.
It's funny.
But Rob, what's your take on this whole thing? Because do you think it's a big deal or do you think it isn't?
I think that ceases to be a big deal. I think that people won't necessarily include the OTT in terms of the idea, but I think that Nicole exercised this demon by beating Paul last summer. I don't think we're going to hear about it again when we get into BB19, BB20.
All right, let's take one more question here. This one is from Primal Instinct on Twitter. Primal Instinct says, someone pointed out on Reddit that they felt Jason was inclined to be the same way this season as he was on BB17 because that's why he was cast on the show and that's what got him popularity. Do you think that affected his gameplay this season? Brent, what do you think about that?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. I mean, you're basically saying that Jason's played the same both season. I think that's not true.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't agree that we ever saw this side of Jason during his original season because I loved Jason back then and I watched the feeds back then. So, I mean, I've seen differences in Jason and he feels entitled to talk about people in a way that I feel like is unbecoming of him. Look, I feel like the story of this season and this finale is that Jason lost. As much as I like Morgan's game, it's that he lost because he had it within himself to win. He had the fans, he had the followers, he had the notoriety from being on Big Brother proper, and yet he still found a way to lose. I mean, that has to be the overriding story here.
Alex, anything to add on that?
Just that I think that, maybe not necessarily that he was, trying to reinforce the reason he got cast so much as I think people overestimate the idea to which a character is being played on this show. I mean, you're in that house so long. And I mean, I've listened to interviews with past house guests and they say after the first week, I forget there are cameras there at all. And you just fall into who you are. And I think, Jason lives kind of an isolated lifestyle. And as someone who also does that, I am also kind of like prone to, saying things and being like, I probably wouldn't have said that today if I had just been like interacting with more people and wasn't just like bottled up with my own anxieties and whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't think this was like an act or a character or Jason trying to play it to anything. I think when you saw Jason get angry, Jason was angry. When you saw Jason sad, that was Jason sad. I mean, I think that's what Big Brother is. You get people at their most real because the game is so long and so boring that it just eventually breaks everyone down. And yeah, I mean, I just don't think I'm as likely to hold that against somebody because I feel like I would probably be just as bad if you leave me trapped in a space with nothing to do for 65 days.
Jordan, by the way, Jason was right. If he could only catch a break, I mean, he called it.
Oh no. Poor Jason. Rob, do you think that Alex Kidwell would go full Jason Roy if he went on a BBOTT too?
I don't believe so. I think that Alex Kidwell is a very calm and reasonable man, and I think that he might have moments of frustration. I think that he is probably savvy enough to know, like, oh, I'm just being I was venting for a moment. Let me just take that back. And I'm sure that he would have moments moments where he explodes, but probably not for days on end.
You sure you haven't listened to the show already, Rob?
Sometimes he gets a little set off on things here and there, especially when it's Australian Survivor.
There may or may not be some homeless
That already
comments
came
thrown
up,
about, but-
Clairvoyant, this man.
Mhm.
Oh man. Okay. It's okay. Taran, is Alex winning BBOTT too? I want to get the what does your poll say about that?
Well, obviously, we'll be supporting him, and we are the puppet masters of the season. So that's how it works, right? We will propel him to a victory.
No, Jordan, remember, Jordan, I was the same guy who was on the podcast with Rob the night that you were evicted from Big Brother Canada and rejoicing. So I don't
You
know
know what's
that you
funny,
can count on that.
Brent? I have never listened to that podcast, so I
Oh my God.
I didn't know
You
you
just
were
found
rejoicing.
out.
I just found out. Well then, Brent.
I
That
told you
changes
that
things.
though.
No,
I
told
knew you.
Yeah. You told me this. You told me that you were rejoicing. You just didn't tell me you were rejoicing on the podcast. No,
It'd be a lot funnier. It'd be a lot funnier if you guys were doing it to me after the fact. Like, yeah, this is our buddy Alex. Like, go ahead and evict this guy. He's really not that cool. I just believe me when I say it. I trust me.
No, I honestly think I would lose my mind if Alex was on the show, just because I would be like one of these crazy people, like who's just dropping vitriolic dribble everywhere on Twitter all the time. Be like, no, you don't say that about Alex Kidwell. He's my friend. Yeah, I would go like kind of like how Taran was losing his mind a little bit earlier. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for our finale coverage, or at least tonight's finale coverage of Big Brother Over the Top. We thank you so much for joining us. We had so many viewers here, so many guys watching it, people watching us live. We really appreciate it, all the questions and everything. And thank you for those of you who stuck around all season long. Watching this, who didn't even really watch BBOTT, but listen to the podcast and kept up with it. It's been a lot of fun having you guys here. You kept us sane. There have been some crazy days and nights with this, and social media has been insane. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of the LFC and Rob in that we are happy that this season is over, and hopefully Twitter can slowly get back to normal. But I just wanted to say big thank you to Alex, Brent, and Taran for working nonstop this season, covering the live feeds. Really, you guys haven't had a break since March. So just give yourselves a pat.
Hey, they had a week off in between OTT and BB18.
Oh, okay. Yes. So sorry. So yes, the labor issues, Rob got that covered with the week off there. But still, like, seriously, thank you guys. And if you guys are listening to this podcast, please tweet these guys and thank them, because they've done so much great work this entire year. Taran, I heard you wanted to say something there.
I just want to, like, I mean, you don't need to thank me. Like, I should be thanking you. I feel like the listeners of this podcast provide us with this amazing opportunity, and I'm just continually thankful. Like, I would not have had fun with the season if not for the podcast. You guys have made it so much fun for me. And I'm also really excited moving forward into the future. I'm so happy for Melissa. I'm really excited to work with her. I feel like she's gonna work really well with us, and I think she's amazing. So I'm in a blissful state right now, Jordan.
Blissful indeed. Okay,
Good things are coming.
Yes. And so again, Rob will be live tomorrow at 5. Sorry, I almost did the Pacific thing again. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
You're welcome,
I've
Brent.
trained you well.
By the way, that we actually had a mic in the green room. Did you hear Scott Dennis's reaction to Morgan winning?
Oh.
Rob, Julie mentioned his reaction to finding out the sister twist on the finale, and I was waiting for that sound drop. Like, I was
too.
Like,
yeah.
Where is it? And then she didn't have it. And I was like, man, amateurs. Where's Rob when they need him?
Oh
Yeah, this is. Yeah, it was.
He's been playing this game with a sibling in the house.
Oh.
And it was featured today on Alex's Snapchat, which was really, really funny.
Yeah,
Rob doing like a
video where he comes out.
Yeah, Rob, if you haven't seen the finale, you watch for the part when Julie Chen starts swearing. That's the fun part. Yes.
Oh, I'll be watching the whole thing.
It's great. Now we're gonna wind things down for you guys in the chat room. If you guys could give us some hashtag ideas, that would be great. Just want to quickly
see you guys for Celebrity Big Brother UK. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? Hey, Alex, maybe we could try it. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Right? I'm down to try it.
Batteries.
Right?
They've got a nicer, more high budget house. So check that out. The architect and me will enjoy it.
Okay, so we'll have to check that out, or maybe we will check that out. We'll see. Maybe not as much coverage of it, but we'll talk to Rob. We'll talk as a group, and we'll see what we can do with that. But final thoughts, Alex Kidwell. Anything you want to add before we wrap things up tonight?
Man, what a night! It's been pretty crazy. I don't still really know what to make of the whole situation, and we don't really have any good answers as to how this happened, but here we are, and what a 2016 it's been in the world of Big Brother, and hopefully 2017 will only be better, and go from there.
Yes, absolutely. Brent,
State of the Union.
Brent, what would you like to add?
It's just amazing. Like, I mean, blindside after blindside on reality TV all season long. This is one I was finally happy about. I think every other time I've been pissed. Yes, when the Pax Brothers won, I was pissed. When the winner of Survivor was revealed last season, I was pissed at that. And then, of course, when Nicole beat Paul, I was beyond pissed. I was in the veil, for heaven's sake. So, yeah, I mean, this is one where I'm finally happy. They threw me a bone. That's what happened here. Let's be honest.
At least one vote went your way, Brent.
Yes, right? I know. I'm having trouble with that.
Just nothing ever goes right for you in this.
I can only catch a break.
Rob, going left to right. Rob, anything you want to add? I know you didn't see.
No, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. I have so many things I want to say, but I don't know if you said them all already. So I gotta wait to watch. I gotta watch the finale. I gotta hear what you guys have to say, and then I can't wait to come on tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to the day after the aftermath and it's seeing if the Jason GoFundMe has been taken down yet. Taran, anything you want to add?
I feel like I've said my piece. I'm still just glowing about Melissa and really this whole season. It's been so fun. And so yeah, thanks guys.
Okay, so hashtag ideas. I'm looking here. One was, and Rob, I guess, well, you're on, so I can ask you. Are we, Dad, are we allowed to use this one? Alex said earlier, our nuts hurt. Are we allowed to use that as a hashtag?
Is it ARE?
Well, we could do. We can negotiate. We'll do ARE.
If condom face doesn't get in, I feel like this
Let's
should
get off of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Moses has a great one.
I feel like it needs to either be horribilizing or something good involving Melissa.
Yeah, Steve Moses.
Yeah, let's do something good involving Melissa. Yeah, horribilizing denotes that we're unhappy about like Morgan winning, and I'm definitely not unhappy about Morgan winning.
It's just, it's a concept I introduced tonight.
I hear you. Yeah.
I'm proud of it.
I kind of liked Alex's mom's horribilizing. So
right.
Why don't we do two? We'll do hashtag horribilizing. And then I guess if you want to support Melissa, people are saying hashtag ladies night OTT. I guess that's what people are saying in the chat.
All right, so if you're in a good mood, do that. And if you're not, then horribilizing is
then horribilizing. Otherwise,
yes.
So,
Let people vent either way.
Yes, so people can choose. You can choose what hashtag you want to use. Don't forget to follow all these guys on Twitter. Alex is at Alex Kidwell. Brent is at One Lucky Gay. Rob is at Rob Cesternino. And Taran is at Armstrong Taran. Thank you again so much for tuning in, guys. It's been a great night, and looking forward to all of the postseason coverage and the off-season ahead. It's been a long year of Big Brother. For Alex Kidwell, Brent Wolgamott, Rob Cesternino, and Taran Armstrong, I'm Jordan Parhar. Hashtag horribilizing, hashtag ladies night OTT. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Peace out.